Exercise A. Meaning from context. Page 44.
1. Migration is the movement of people from one place to another.
2. Most people who move to another place do so for a combination of reasons. In other words, there is not usually a single reason for moving.
3. Reasons why people move fall into 3 categories or groups. These relate to the economy, to society, or to the environment.
4. In early times, people often moved far away from their homes because of conflicts, fights or wars, in the place where they were living.
5. Sometimes, people are forced to move because of natural disasters in their homelands. These are environmental events that cause a lot of damage, such as floods and earthquakes.
6. People also migrate when the economy of an area is poor, resulting in poverty.
7. Lack of jobs can be a reason for moving. We can illustrate that with an example from recent history.
8. Many immigrants are successful in their new country. In some cases, they establish new businesses. They start with a small business and then become very successful.
9. If you settle in a new place, you stay there permanently and make a new home there. It's very different from visiting a new place on vacation.
10. If people enjoy their new lives, they may decide to become citizens of the country they have moved to, becoming legal members.
Exercise B. Meaning from context. Page 45.
Paul Salopak is a journalist with a background in environmental biology. As such, he describes his walk across the continents as a combination of art and science. Paul explains that wherever we live today, our ancestors originated in East Africa. The descendants of the earliest humans migrated in different directions and settled in all parts of the world. Paul's walk traces the footsteps of our earliest ancestors. Paul's walk has not been easy. He has experienced local conflicts, extreme weather, and planning errors. However, the journey has been unforgettable. Paul tells one story of crossing a desert along the Silk Road in Central Asia to illustrate both the difficulties and the beauty he experienced during his walk. Paul's goal is to uncover our early ancestors' histories and their reasons for migration. Some of their reasons were surprisingly similar to our own reasons for moving. Early humans moved in search of food. Today, in difficult economic times, people move in search of better jobs and a higher quality of life. Early humans experienced conflicts. Fighting still happens today. Early humans moved as a direct result of natural disasters. In the same way, floods and earthquakes might lead to human movement today. Early humans developed new lands. Today, many migrants establish businesses in their new locations.
Listening. Human migration. Exercise B. Main ideas. And Exercise C. Details. Pages 46 to 47.
Hello, everyone. Let's get started. Today, we are going to continue our discussion about human movement, or migration. Now, as we said last class, migration occurs when people decide to move. They go to a new place and settle and make their home there. We tend to think of migration as the movement of people across international borders, that is, from one country to another. International migration is probably the most familiar to us, as it's often in the news. But migration within a country is actually more common. People often move from one region to another within the same country. Let's move on to an important question about migration. Why do people do it? Why do people choose to move to a place they probably don't know very well? There are several theories here. In simple terms, I find it helpful to talk about push and pull factors. Push factors are negative things that push people away from a place. Pull factors are positive things that pull people towards a place. I want to give you some examples of these two factors. Generally speaking, push factors fall into three categories, relating to the economy, society, or the environment. Economic push factors include things like a lack of jobs in a region or a lack of growth in the economy. Social push factors are those related to the culture or society of a region. Social push factors include things like poor medical care, low-quality education, low-quality or expensive housing, and so on. And finally, environmental push factors include natural disasters such as earthquakes, floods, or extremely dry weather. Pollution and factors that affect food production are also push factors. Let me illustrate that with an example from history. In the 1840s and 1850s, over 2 million people from Ireland left home. Many of them settled in Canada and the United States. During that time, the population of Ireland decreased by 25%. It's one of the biggest examples of large-scale migration in history. The reason? Their main source of food at that time was the potato, and there was a terrible potato disease in Ireland. Simply put, there was no food and people were dying. People had to leave. They had no choice. Pull factors can also be put into three categories, relating to the economy, society, or the environment. Economic pull factors include access to jobs, a stronger economy, and the like. Social pull factors include things like a safe environment and access to high-quality medical care, education, and housing. Environmental pull factors include more space, less pollution, good weather that allows enough food to be grown, and so on. As a historical example, we can look at Australia between 1945 and 1985. The Australian government realized that the country's population was too small, so it encouraged immigration. It promised good jobs, a safe family life, and pleasant weather. Over 4 million people from around the world migrated to Australia. Okay, now why does a particular person or group choose to migrate? The reasons are typically a combination of various push and pull factors, with economic factors often being the main ones. But even in cases where a combination of push and pull factors is strong, the decision to migrate and settle in another place is often a difficult one. Life at home may have many problems, and life in a new place may look like it would be much better. Many migrants settle in areas that have a lot of migrants from their home region. This gives them the benefits of living in a new place, together with the benefits of living with people who speak their language and who understand their culture. In other words, they are with people who can help them get used to their new home. Despite this, migrants, especially international ones, may face problems in their new home. For instance, they may not speak the language or know the laws. The immigrants may not have enough money to live comfortably, especially at first. Some citizens of the new region may be uncomfortable with the arrival of so many immigrants, which can lead to conflict. Still, despite all of these issues, human migration is often very successful. Let me give you a couple of examples from history. How many of you have heard of Levi's jeans? I see many hands. Did you know that the Levi's company was established by Levi Strauss, who was born in Germany in 1829? He immigrated to the United States at the age of 18. He started a company, and his famous jeans eventually became known around the world. He even gave back to his new country by giving money to the University of California. But don't think all successful migration is to a country like the United States. People also migrate successfully from the U.S. In 1946, an American businessman named Jim Thompson went to Thailand with a plan to buy a hotel. That plan didn't work, but Thompson fell in love with Thai culture, Thai architecture, and in particular, Thai clothing. he established the Thai Silk Company to produce beautiful Thai clothes. In doing this, Thompson provided jobs to thousands of women, which lifted them out of poverty. He built a beautiful traditional Thai house and lived there until his death. That brings us to the end of today's lecture. In the next class, we're going to talk about